Okay, hello and welcome to Tyson Teddy Talk, episode 20 motherfucking 7. Demonetized immediately.
Right away.
This is Tyson. He's over there.
Hello.
He says hello. I am Teddy. Probably didn't need me to translate that one. We have things to talk about, including actually like a lot of shit for this week. But basically, that's what the show is. We talk. We just talk. We talk about shit. You know, it's literally like the most base idea of a podcast to ever exist. It's like that.
I mean, that's all podcasts are,
the
though.
Baseline. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're just being honest about it. Yeah. Everybody else are fucking liars. Tyson, what I was gonna say. Yeah, not everybody, but fucking. Let's see here. You know what I have become addicted to? Which is very late. Like it should have happened like multiple years ago at this point. I'm very late to the party. But let me tell you, Tyson, if you ever heard of this thing called fucking TikTok, it's really good. It's really good. I totally understand now. I tried using it a long time ago, and it was like, I don't know, there just weren't very many good videos. Like, I didn't care. But legitimately,
it's because you're not
the
watching
algorithm,
the videos. Yeah.
The algorithm is so goddamn good now that I open it up and I start like every single one of them is good. And if it's not, I didn't even know this. And once I learned this, it's gotten so much better. If it's not good, you hold down on the video and click not interested. And then it improves the videos that you like. Yeah. And now legitimately, like I just now before we started, I went to the bathroom, I was on the toilet, I was scrolling through and watching TikToks. And then I just kept watching it while I washed my hands and then came in here, and as I pulled up Discord, I still had it going. And I was like, these are so good. And now mine is mainly animals. Like there's just a lot of dogs and cats and birds. It's great. It's so good. It's very good.
That's like algorithms in pretty much a lot of programs. Like there's a Discover, is it called Discover Weekly or Discover Weekly on Spotify that pretty much is like, hey, here's some songs that you like from artists that you like, but then we've also put in some songs that we might think that you like, and then you just either click, oh, I actually like this, or not interested, and then that won't come up again, and then like songs like that won't come up again.
Yeah.
It's all about curating. That's why when everybody says, like,
but
I can understand Twitter can be pretty heavy, but you really just have to curate your own Twitter. And like, if you see something that you don't like, especially like if it's an ad or something like that, I'll just like mute or like block. And I'm just like, no, I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm not even going to think twice about it. It's just like, if I'm not going, like, I don't want this on my Twitter feed, then I will find a way, and it's usually either just mute or block.
Yeah, that's fair. Twitter's a little different, though, whereas, like, TikTok is literally just videos, and whenever I hit not interested, it doesn't just take away stuff from that person. It takes away videos like that as well. Yeah. So it just, I don't know, it slowly curates, like, better and better videos. Mm-hmm. Whereas mute and block is always great on Twitter, and I definitely use it, but, like, it's usually that person, you know? And to be honest, most people that I end up blocking are people that I see on Twitter that are assholes. Not usually to me, but I usually see them being assholes to other people. And I'm just like, I don't want to ever even slightly stumble across this person. So
I just like mute and block. Like I use mute, especially because I think if they because sometimes people will like something now that on Twitter. If like your friends like something, then that will be on your feed. And I'm like, no, you didn't retweet it. You just liked it. So that shouldn't be on your feed, or it shouldn't be on my feed. And sometimes it gets a little much. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to have to put a stop. But I have to stop to that.
It's kind of annoying because it's when they first started doing that, there wasn't a ton, and it just happened every now and then. And now it's a good chunk of the Twitter timeline.
You'll go through your Twitter timeline and you'll be like, I don't follow this person. Why am I seeing this? Oh, this random person that I follow liked it. It's like they didn't even retweet it. They just liked it. And it's like, oh, that's just not.
Yeah, it's weird. Apparently, dude, I got told once by somebody that I don't even know how it came up, but it was in my Twitch chat. They were talking about how they follow me on Twitter and how I apparently like somebody's girlfriend unfollowed me on his account, which I'm not gonna make any judgments on anything, but she unfollowed me on his account because apparently
right there. That's
already
a mess
no matter
already.
What, the reason doesn't matter. That's not good. But she apparently did that because apparently on his timeline I was bringing up a good bit of pictures of attractive girls because apparently I like a lot of pictures of attractive girls, and I asked that and I was like, does it do that for anyone else here? And a bunch of literally 2 or 3 people in my chat were like, yeah, no, you do, dude. And I was like, oh, whoops.
Well, you gotta like a lot of things.
I haven't stopped.
You gotta like more than just that thing.
I do. At least I thought.
Are you
I
sure?
did.
Are you sure? I don't know.
So.
You gotta like a whole bunch of
I was
things.
like, oh, thank God Instagram doesn't act that way. Because
I mean, it used to, and then they cut that out.
That was the thing. I remembered that where people used to it would show you pictures that other people liked.
Yeah.
I'm glad it doesn't anymore.
Just like a whole bunch of things. Usually, if I find something funny, I like it. That's the only way to really me to like something is if it's funny.
Honestly, I worry that I like too much on Twitter, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm surprised that is what has come through. I'm scrolling through my likes right now. So far, we definitely have at least 2 from today. Attractive girls. But there's also 30 others. What do you want from me, dude? But Tyson, I have a question for you.
What is the question?
How are you liking Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Yuffie Edition?
I only played
Part 7.
I only played it for 2 hours last night.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're just
not
started.
too bad. Even though it's probably not that big. I don't think it's that big.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is.
I was going to stream more of it today, but I have a headache, so I'm gonna save it for probably tomorrow. But it's good. It looks really nice on PS5. I have to play on my second account because I heard if you upload your save from the PS4 to the PS5, it just automatically gives you another platinum. And so I'm like, okay, I can't even play it on my old account because I have 69 platinums.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I'm in Final Fantasy VII Remake was my 69th platinum, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna have to platinum it again on the second account, which is not that hard.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, it looks great. I didn't play any of the original game. I just went straight into the DLC. Yeah. It's cool. It's set in between the first maybe 10 hours of the game.
Yeah.
There's a little spot where it's set, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yuffie's good. Combat is confusing, and I think it's just because I haven't been playing it. I haven't played it since Remake.
That's one thing I've heard from people is that it takes a bit to get back into it because it's kind of a rhythm.
There was a rhythm with Remake, and I just don't remember it at all. And so I'm literally just button mashing, and I'm I know that I wasn't playing it like this in last year, so I just have to keep playing and figure it out. That's
that
good.
Gets me excited. I think I am gonna.
Great.
I think after I beat Resident Evil 7 on Sundays, I'm gonna go to 7 Remake. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I think I am. Because it's not crazy long.
Well, it's 30 hours.
Yeah, to do the main story if you just wanted to do that, which I don't know if I would. But I don't know. I think that would be really good because it is very much a world that I would be in. You know what I mean? It's just every Sunday.
My first playthrough was in the 30s.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even doing that much side stuff. There's not a lot of side stuff, and it's really tedious.
Yeah. From this actually makes sense now that I think about it, because from what I heard is the main bulk of if you wanted to actually get the platinum, the biggest part of it is that you have to you got to play it twice, and I guess I don't know. Do you have to do it at a harder difficulty the second time? Yeah. That's
you have to play all the
so that
chapters
makes
on hard.
sense because looking at Final Fantasy VII Remake on how long to beat, Main story is 33.5 hours, and then even main plus extras is 42.5, and then completionist is 84.5. So it's like that makes sense. Pretty much doubling that, and it's harder. So I don't know if I would ever end up doing that, but I might just go through on Sundays and do the main story and do some of the side stuff. Because, man, I'm telling you, I've said this before a long time ago, and this is why you were like, play 7 Remake. When I played Final Fantasy 15, I really liked I'm bringing it up for a second. I really liked the combat, or at least what they were trying to do with the combat. It was very clear that it was like, this is not going to be the final form. This is very much the idea of Final Fantasy 15's combat was really cool. Like, it was swapping between different people, and kind of you did sort of get into a rhythm, which was cool. And then when I played 7 Remake, like the demo really. At PAX,
you could do like certain attacks, but you couldn't switch to them.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think fully. No, you would tell other characters to do certain attacks. But even then, I really liked it. I don't know, there was something really unique about that combat that I thought was really kind of like charming. And then when I played 7 Remake, like the demo at PAX, when I went in, even just a little bit of time there, I was like, oh, this is what they were trying to do there, but like so much better. Like, it is exactly that, like,
well, that's the thing.
Rhythm like, kind of flow, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I want to do that.
Like, I don't know, I can't really, maybe since 13, but then that's just 13 and 15, 13 trilogy and 15.
not
is that
much.
Like, there are things
14, I guess.
in 13. No, that's an MMO. We don't. That's not. None of that is like ever.
Combat's very different.
Combat, when you talk about the combat, though,
very different.
But like 13 was, you had like paradigm shifts. So you have like 3 people in a party that would be doing damage, and then you could like switch their, I guess, job. So like you'd have 2 Ravagers, which is a magic class, and 1 Commando, which is a physical class, and they would like build this stagger bar up until you would actually stagger the enemy, and then they would get bigger damage. And like that is taken straight from 13, and that's in 7 Remake. And then there's other things just like that where you can like switch stances, switch stuff like that in like 13. So they've been, ever since like 13, they've been kind of building a new kind of combat system.
Yeah, they've been trying to, like, kind of keep the feel from the little bit that I've played. It seems like they're trying to keep sort of the feel of a turn-based combat system, but in real time and like action combat in its own way. Kind of have a hybrid.
It's very not,
which is cool,
turn-based, like at all.
I'm not saying that it is,
but I don't know how
the feel. I knew you would disagree with that the second I said it, but it's okay. We don't need to dwell on that.
Because like turn-based, you literally just like stand there and you have.
I'm aware. Turn. I'm not saying that is what you are doing. I'm saying the feel of the tactical, like making decisions with your combat. That's not just so like, I don't know what's a good. Like, no, I was going to say, like, Devil May Cry, but that's not a good example because it's, like, a shit ton of combos.
Just a hack and slash.
A basic-ass, like, hack and slash game. I don't know, maybe Ghost of Tsushima. I think that'd be a little bit more, but you might fall in that lines. Like, or, like, Odyssey. Odyssey's pretty basic combat system, you know what I mean? There are abilities and whatnot there, so it doesn't exactly fit. But, like, a very basic hack and slash combat is what a lot of games are kind of based on, and this, I feel, seems more like gives you more agency, gives you choice and more strategy and whatnot with the abilities that you choose and stuff like that. It's definitely a lot more intricate than a basic ass hack and slash combat.
I don't know. Sort of. Like maybe in the harder difficulties, when you play the game on normal, you literally don't have to do any of that kind of stuff, and that. So like when you play on hard,
kind of
then you actually have to learn how to play the game instead of just like.
Sadly, that's kind of how a lot of stuff works. Where when you play it on a harder difficulty, then you kind of realize how it's kind of meant to be played. It's kind of designed in that way to where you use it in a certain way to like you finally get the feel of it, you know. Immortals. That's why I turned Immortals up. But even then, it wasn't that hard. Immortals. I wish it was a little harder.
Game's too easy these days. So I gotta play that Demon Souls.
Yeah, you gonna get on that?
Maybe. Well, we'll see. I have to play it.
Yeah.
I have to like beat a bunch of games first.
Speaking of PlayStation 5 games, what a great segue. Professional podcasters over here. Let's talk about fucking Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for a second, because that's very good. It's a very good video game, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Holy shit. Yeah, dude, it's so good. Like, I was very glad. Also, we said this on the podcast a while back, where I was like, I bet you it's not going to have a 60 FPS mode. And if we had made that pizza bet, Tyson would be munching down right now.
They would literally, if the games don't do, like, especially if they don't do like both, that's just, I don't know. I don't want to say lazy, but like to make a 30 FPS game in an economy where we have these types of consoles and we have PC games,
go lay down.
We just, I don't know. You just can't make a 30 FPS game.
A lot of people still do, but that's fair.
But like,
so like,
it's better at
today,
60. Everything's better at 60.
You. I'm with you. Today,
have the option.
While we were watching,
have the option.
I was watching on stream. GameSpot did a Kena Bridge of Spirits preview video. I need to tell my dog to be quiet. She's losing it. She ran in here a minute ago with a ball and just sat here and looked up at me with her tail wagging. And I muted myself for a second to feel like, Ion, stop it. And then she just went and grabbed her louder ball and is now doing it. Ion, go lay down. No more play. Go. 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 We can
This
go.
is my cue to say that, you know, that cat's
Go.
just superior.
Go. Lay down. I will play with you later. I can't right now. We can cut that out. But
Cat's just superior now.
oh my god.
Frank's just chilling. And when he wants attention, he just wants like a couple of pats. He doesn't want too much, or else he'll bite you, and then he'll be like, "That's enough."
I think that might be an indicator on the other side of things, but that's okay. I like cats too. Cats are cool.
Cats.
My dog snuggles with me.
So does
She doesn't
my
just
cat.
come up when she wants pats and then goes away after like 3 pats.
Animals only come to us when they want something. That's just a fact.
That's not
Yes,
true.
it is.
You call them,
Yeah.
thall come up. If I call
No,
that
but like,
now,
if
she'd come over
I mean,
and
if
hop in my lap.
and same with Frank, but I'm saying like when they initiate it, they only want something from us.
Yeah. Like.
It's true.
Oh my god. I was like, what were we talking about? Fucking Ratchet and Clank. So 60 FPS. Today we were watching Kena Bridge of Spirits, like the GameSpot preview video that they did for that, and it looked really like smooth and like it definitely looked like 60. Well, here. Now she's wanting to look out the window. I'll let her do that. Fuck up the lighting a little bit, but she sits there and like puts her head on the windowsill. But Kena looked super, super smooth, and I was like, I wonder if they're playing this on PC, because that game's coming out on PC as well. And I was like, I wonder if this is gonna be 60 frames. And my friend Andrew was like, it'll be 60. Like I bet you. And I was like, yeah, I mean Ratchet and Clank was, but like Insomniac has a record of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying not to get my hopes up and then have them crushed.
Again,
You know what I mean?
you can't make a
Manifest
game
your
for these
truth,
consoles that's 30 FPS.
You can, and multiple people have.
Well, what games that are PS5 games are 30?
I don't think there's too many PS5.
That's
Are
what
we
I'm talking
talking
about.
like
So like
PS5
if you're making a
exclusives?
next gen game, it's like
Or
if you
just
make a
PS5
game,
games?
it's like before, like I don't know, 10 years ago, probably more than 10 years ago. If you're like, you know what, we're making a game and it's still at 720. When like 1080 is the standard now. Like that's the thing. 1080 is the standard. Well, it was the standard, and now it's not even the standard. 4K is the standard.
So
But
this is the main thing.
60
that would,
has to be the standard.
this is the main thing that would make me agree with you in saying that this is more likely now in this generation than ever before. Because from PS3 to PS4, right? That didn't happen. It's just a big leap in graphics. But like most games coming out didn't just start being 60. But I think the reason now why that is a lot more possible is because like looking at the modes, looking at the visual options, the 3 different visual settings in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the one that is most about looks is like 4K. It's for 4K resolution. I don't have a fucking like if you don't scale it in 4K cares. Going to 1080, you can do 60. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot easier to do 1080 60 than 4K 60. Like that's a lot less processing
the thing
power.
is that
and if you're already doing 4K,
from 1080 to 4K, I'm sorry, you're not going to see that much of a difference. From 30 to 60 is like night and day. And if like once you see 30 and then you see the same game in 60, you're like, I can never go back to 30 because it literally is like blur and it's just like slow and slog. It's true. It's like it's 100%
I can't agree,
true.
But I think that is
Dark Souls,
an exaggeration.
Play Dark Souls 3 on like PC, or I don't know if it's on PS4, if it's 60 on PS4, but then you go play Bloodborne. If you see how Bloodborne plays, Bloodborne is a gorgeous game, but it's slow as fucking hell because it's 30 FPS. And what do people want more than anything? Is it
because of the combat? It's literally a faster game because of the combat. Bloodborne incentivizes you to be faster. The attacks are faster.
But it's a slower game because it's in 30. That's the fun. That's the fun mind games that you have to do when you play that game. Yeah. It's yes, you have to play faster, but it's actually a slower game than Dark Souls because it's half of the frames per second.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you see high quality footage of Bloodborne, and you see high quality footage of Dark Souls 3, people will say that Dark Souls 3 is the faster game when in like all truthfulness, Bloodborne is the faster game. Yeah. But Bloodborne looks slower and feels slower because the camera, everything else is slower.
Yeah. Well, here's what I am saying is that I believe that it is a lot more likely that you are correct and that nowadays things probably on next-gen consoles will have a 60 FPS option because they are developing for 4K. And most developers realize that a lot of people don't have 4K, so they make an option that is scaling it down to 1080 and 60 frames because you can do that. And
you can do 4K
really
60. That's not that bad either. If like PCs can do it, I don't know. Like these consoles were like put up as like the almighty, like Jesus Christ, God and the Holy Spirit of consoles, where it's like, look at what we can do with these consoles. And then you're like, look at what we can do. Oh yeah, we can only still do 30 frames per second. Like, give me a break.
But they don't. That's literally what I'm saying.
But that's why I'm saying
is that I'm with you, and that they probably won't.
But you still say like, oh well, it's okay if some developers still make games at 30, and I'm like, no, cut it off. That's like making a game at 720p.
I'm just saying it is. I can absolutely see that because that has happened for the entirety of consoles existing,
and not for PS5.
That's fair. It's a new day.
PS5, 60 frames or get the fuck out. That's my philosophy.
I try to keep you a little like your expectations a little because I don't have every single game is going to be that.
Well, any game that I play will be at least 60 frames.
Fair enough.
That's what I said. Like if Ratchet is not going to have a 60 frame. No, but I'm not though, because it probably isn't that good of a game if they can't make it 60 frames per second, a base 60 frames per second. I'm sorry.
Have you ever played The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Have you ever played Super Mario Odyssey? You ever I don't understand. It's probably not that good of a game.
On a PS5 game? Yes, I've played 30 games before, 30 FPS games before. But then again, if that's the only... Like if you had Breath of the Wild on a PS5 and then still stuck it at 30, because there's a PC mod that has Breath of the Wild that runs at 60 and it's wildly better.
Sure. And I'm with you, but I think
if you make a PS5 game, if you make a PS5
game at 30 FPS, it's bad.
Yes.
That's a bad take, but it's all
Why?
right, man. You do you. You can have that level of value placed on.
It's
frames.
literally
That's
worse.
Okay.
It's visually worse than 60 frames.
Okay, but that's literally not the entirety of the game. Just
But I mean,
because
if
it's
you're
30
looking
frames
at the
doesn't make
game,
it bad. Like, I don't
It
understand.
makes it
It's such a
slower.
weird.
It does. That's why
wild,
Dark
dude.
Souls 3.
I played 1,400 hours of Destiny at 30 frames.
Yes.
And yes, Destiny 2 at 60 FPS is better. Doesn't make Destiny 1 bad. Not at all.
I mean, now it does.
I don't understand.
Like, you're not going to go back and be like, man, this looks still so good and this feels so good to play. It's like when I play any Resident Evil game now, and then I go back and play Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil Nemesis on the PS1 that has tank controls, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, this game is still so great. And it's like, no, it's not now because of everything that we have now. But if you make a game, if you develop a game today and have it with tank controls, that's going to be a bad game. Like, there's some things that you have to cut off and leave in the past. So yes, if a game that comes out on the PS5 is 30 frames per second and there's no 60 frame option, then yes, it's a bad game.
I think that's insane. But
why?
Okay, like do your thing. Because the frame rate of a game does not determine the quality at all. There are a billion other aspects to the game than the frame rate. It's just it's part of it.
If you're talking about old games, then I agree with you. But if you're talking about new games that are being developed for the PlayStation 5, to come in and be like, yeah, it's gonna run at 30 frames per second. It's like, I don't know. That's just it's just a bad decision.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's like making a movie and being like, hey, we're gonna make this at 720. Then that's a bad movie. I don't care how good the fucking acting's gonna be. It's gonna be a bad movie. Like, hey,
I think those are two very
here's
different
a movie,
things,
but we shot it.
Okay.
Why? You're talking about this is the visual fidelity of something. So here's a movie,
I'm
and
saying
we
that
shot
as
it
much
at
as
4.
you would like
we shot
that
it
to
at
be
4
the
by
standard
3
right now, I don't think that it is. I don't think that saying that right now when 4K is the standard for visuals and comparing 4K to 720, right? Like that, I think that is a huge difference between 60 FPS and 30 FPS in the gaming industry right now. It's not the standard as much as you would like it to be. It is almost. Genuinely, I think it almost is. But like,
I don't think
it's to that degree anymore, or at the moment.
I don't see how it's not the standard.
I mean,
yeah, but I'm talking about these new consoles. These new consoles do all of that stuff, so I don't see how it's not the standard.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think that all games for PS5, I would have to look, but I don't think that all of them do 60 FPS.
I mean, I know
don't think Sackboy runs
Demon
at
Souls.
60 FPS.
Well, we're talking
Demon
about
Souls does, right?
Let's go like AAA games.
Yeah. Demon Souls does. Spider-Man Miles Morales does, but that's, also on PS4.
Ghost of Tsushima has an update that does
now. Yeah, but those
God of War has an update.
Most of these examples are last-gen games that are scaled up. Like, of course you can do that on more powerful hardware, but the reason why I am, for the most part, I genuinely do, for the most part, agree with you on this, is Rift Apart came out, fully new, PS5 exclusive, has the option. So I'm like, shit, maybe it will be more of a standard. But I don't want to 100% say that is the case yet because we don't have too many examples of that.
That's why
That's
we
fair.
Can say
I'm with you there. I prefer 60 FPS. Most of the time, I play games on PC because of that.
I'm sorry. Everybody prefers 60 FPS. If you prefer 30, get your eyes checked.
It's not that some people prefer 30. I have a lot of console friends that don't give a shit. Like, they just don't care. And
yeah, but that's the same as like when you saw standard definition television and then they give you high definition. When you just see standard definition, you're like, yeah, it looks fine. Like, I can see
but like,
what I'm watching.
Played games that are 60 before. That's the thing. They know how it feels. Well, like, that's 100% a thing. They just don't care. And I get that too. For the most part, like, if a game is 60 FPS, I much prefer that. I'm not going to stop myself from playing a game that's probably incredible because it's 30. Like, almost every game on the Switch is going to be 30. You know what I mean? Switch Mario plus Rabbids, too.
Switch is
That
different
came out today.
because that literally is all that console can kind of do.
Well,
It's like when you give it.
Not gonna stop myself because it's not 60.
No, but when you're trying to make a
just...
game like, say, like even like God of War, I know it's probably the console that was holding it back because like God of War is 60 now. But it's like when you have a game that good looking, but then it runs at 60, it takes a hit because it's not as fast. Like that's just the truth of it. And like obviously the next God of War is probably going to be 60 because they up-resed this one. It's just like when it's on. Like Mario plus Rabbids, again, not a very intense, like fast, quick where you need the 30. Or I mean, when you need the 60.
Literally is.
It's literally just like an XCOM, like that is turn-based.
You're
tactical.
waiting for the most part,
So that that doesn't matter if it's 30 or 60.
Reflexes there.
But like when you have a game like even like Last of Us, Part 2 still suffered in my mind because it was stuck at 30. I wish
but like
it was a little bit faster.
You wouldn't say that was a bad game. You know what I mean?
But that was a bad part of that game.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying before. I'm with you there, but it's not a bad game.
But that's the thing. So now, in the year of our Lord 2021, you make a game for the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, and it's 30 frames, and it's like, and you need like the 30 frames. Or I mean, you need the frames. It's an intense game. Then that's a bad decision, and it's probably gonna be a bad game.
I can agree with you on the first part. I cannot agree on the second part. But
I mean, if it's a bad decision, then it's not gonna be a good game.
That doesn't make one bad decision doesn't make an entirely bad game.
When it's the frame rate, it's like probably one of the biggest things in games because that's literally how you see how you respond to the information coming to your eyes. So like if you're going to get a game that's like a shooter, that's like a hack and slash, and it's not giving you your eyes enough information per second, then yes, that could be a bad game and probably is a bad game.
We should move on and talk about
that's just,
I can't just continue to say that I disagree because, like, it doesn't add anything. So we should move on and talk about other things. But there's been lots of new things to talk about. Like, fucking today, literally today, is like E3, I guess, is like
this
happening.
Is a weird E3. I'm not on
What's
board.
really weird to me, this is a side tangent, and I promise we won't be here too long, but what's really weird to me is that, like, over the entire last basically 2 years, and even longer, any sort of games industry podcast, a huge discussion has been E3's dead, E3's dying, E3's not going to be relevant anymore. And then this last year when E3 didn't happen because of coronavirus, and then Jeff Keighley stepped in and did stuff, everyone's like, fucking, we'll see if E3 comes back next year. I bet you it won't. I bet you that's it. E3's not going to come back. And then, like, that, as soon as they announced, like, E3 is back, everyone just weirdly was like, fuck yeah, E3, woo, it's going to be so hype. Like, E3 is back. Like, and I was like...
Because it's the hype train. It's literally the hype train.
It's so weird, though. It's like they all were just like, no, never mind. Based on nothing.
This is, like, very different than what E3 is.
Yeah.
So I think when the people that are cheering are like, yes, we're excited to see more announcements for games. I think collectively, even the people that got to go to E3 never liked that because you're crowded with like how many thousands of people, and you have to wait to, even if you have appointments, you have to try to like get over to somewhere to like sit down and see a game. So I think that's the part of E3 that I think people want dead. That like they don't want this huge crowded convention where it's just, and especially now obviously you don't want a crowded convention, but like I think people are excited that like, yes, even though it's not technically like a full E3, it's like we're seeing game announcements and we're seeing new stuff from studios, and maybe it's even just a hint of normalcy since we haven't had E3 in like 2 years. So we're nostalgic for those times where we were like
I think that's part of it. E3
I'm excited
is very
for like
weird.
a couple, but like I'm not excited for, and I don't think there's going to be anything like E3 worthy where you're like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming. Except for that stupid Avatar thing that I was just like, you know what?
Okay, we can talk about that in a second.
And I was
but
like, everybody's gonna lose their shit after this like little trailer. Whereas before, if you asked every single person that was losing their shit before all this happened, if you asked them, what do you think of Avatar? And people are probably like, Avatar sucks.
Yeah.
And now they see this trailer and they're like, oh.
I haven't even seen anyone excited about it, to be honest. But
I've seen a couple people on Twitter.
Yeah, but I do want to point out, I just wanted to bring up, like, I am with you in the fact that, like, E3 is fucking weird. And even before last year and this year, which is very different, it's always been weird. Like, it's been like E3, the official E3, is basically a big old convention center in LA. Like, if you really boil it, what E3 itself is, like, from the ESA, is a convention center filled with, like, developers that is only for press for the most part until, like, the last couple of
even before,
years where they opened it up a little bit to fans. But
originally it's just for investors.
Yeah. Yeah, but now it's like
originally it was like here are the games that are coming out and here's what you can invest in. Like that was like the
for like
base of E3.
GameStop managers and people for like stocking and stuff.
And then
like,
it just like evolved. And then it kept like evolving.
And then in the last couple of years, it's literally just been like some fans, but it's mostly like a private convention center for like 2 days. Usually it's like Monday and Tuesday, technically, or something like that. Maybe 3, like Monday through Wednesday. And then it's that. But then what we know of as E3 is like conferences. But like if you're at E3, you're probably not going to one of those conferences. You can't like buy tickets to like a Sony conference. Like it's so weird. Like that's not, it is technically part of E3, but it's also not. And a lot of those conferences just aren't. Like Bethesda and Microsoft in the past couple of years have done it on Sunday, which is technically, even right now, it's Saturday. All the stuff that we saw today, technically not a part of E3, but sort of. It's very weird. Like everyone, the industry
just make the weekend bigger.
Yeah, the industry just decides to come in and all show shit, but it's a very odd thing to me because it's like the Bethesda showcases in the past few years on like Sunday nights are held at like a different theater in LA, but they're just like EA usually does something on that Saturday or that Sunday, and it's at a different place. It's so weird.
Well, it's like staging too. Like if they like, it's about like pricing and that all comes into it. So it's all weird like that.
Today, they did the Ubisoft Forward. I watched the Devolver Digital one as well, which holy shit, amazing as always. And I think that's it. I watched those 2 things, and then I did watch that Kena.
There's the Gearbox stuff too.
I have not seen or heard anything about that, so I'll be interested in that. But Ubisoft, we should start there. We'll call this episode fucking E3 Part 1.
I was sort of paying attention. I don't know. Again, this is a weird E3 where it's not like there's not. I think that's going to be the whole reaction to the rest of E3 is that it's just going to be meh because I still don't think that we're getting like crazy announcements. We're obviously not getting new consoles. Lots of things still aren't coming out this year because things are still going to get delayed. So it's just very. I think a lot of the stuff that we're going to see is not coming out this year for the rest of like E3.
Yeah.
Which is always
some
tough
of the
to
stuff that
get
we've
excited
seen
about.
Already said 2022, so you never know. It's crazy.
I saw that. What was that? Elden Ring was was that yesterday?
No, 2 days ago. Technically yesterday on Friday night.
That was like
they did a
Keighley thing.
Well, yeah, Jeff Keighley did like a E3 kickoff or whatever. I don't know. He did a whole stream which I haven't even watched because when I basically decided to just pay attention to what I find interesting, and they announced what was supposed to be in that show, and it was like Call of Duty Season 4 details and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so I don't care. And then later, Elden Ring finally, after like however many years, and I was like, good for those kids. Good for them.
Crazy that it's like somewhat close. Like, what was it, January?
They had, I think like they even had a date.
Away?
I think it was like January 21st, 2022 or something like that.
So 7 months away for like a game that we've always seen, I think, CG trailers of, but we've never really seen anything of.
I think there's literally just been one.
One gameplay trailer, or
no? Definitely no.
No,
There's
like
been
that's
no
the thing.
gameplay trailer.
And so that's why it's crazy to think like we've never seen gameplay, and it's coming out in 7 months. But those FromSoft guys,
I think that's probably purposeful.
They just make games. You know, that's all they do, and they just make bangers.
That's all they do.
Like,
they don't even eat. They don't
they're just like
sleep.
Sekiro. Oh, here's this great game that like, and it's just fucking amazing. And then I don't know, did they? No, Demon Souls isn't. Well, it is them. Wait, did Demon Souls
was them originally?
Did they make the PS5 version?
No, Blue Point.
Okay.
I think the director.
So they've had.
I don't
a lot
remember
of time.
his name, but I think he said that he like consulted about it. But
okay, they've had a lot of time then to make. Well, like not a lot of time, but they've had like a lot of time for. What was that 4 years?
Sekiro came out what 2019?
2019.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not bad.
I never really got super far into Sekiro. I liked it.
I want to watching that Elden Ring. I'm like, oh man, I got to go back to Sekiro and just like do another playthrough. I might do that.
I will say I haven't actually watched the Elden Ring trailer yet because I wanted to just watch that whole presentation afterwards since I didn't. But I'll probably do that at some point before next week.
There's that, and then there was the Battlefield 2042.
Yep, there's a Battlefield trailer that happened earlier this week. I knew a lot of my friends would be excited about that, and I will say I'm very surprised about the like community internet excitement. Like everyone's like, hell yeah, Battlefield, and I'm like,
I'm excited.
Okay.
I think it's the thing is with these shooters, and like we went through a phase where it was like, hey, we're going back to World War One, and then we're gonna make World War One games, and then we're gonna make World War Two games, and like. Those times,
it comes and goes. The military shooter cycle is people. It's usually like World War I, World War II games, modern shooters, and then modern, a little bit futuristic shooters. Then everybody goes, "Fuck the futuristic shooters, go back," and then they go back, and now here we are again.
I don't think,
cycle.
But you know what? Don't ever go back. Don't ever go back.
They will in like 3 or 4 years.
No.
It'll be a thing.
It's so bad because like that. I remember playing Battlefield 1. I think I played like the beta, and I just hated it because it was like guns were so slow. Everything was so slow.
But that's also personally Battlefield. I don't think one of the reasons why
I think 2042 is probably gonna be a little bit different because
I hope so.
They're gonna try and capitalize on like the fast shooter.
It looks cool. But I will say, the reason why I'm excited or surprised by all the excitement and hype is because it's a cinematic. Like, they showed off a cinematic and gave game details. And then everybody was like, fuck yeah. And I was like, y'all usually don't do this. Y'all usually are like, there's no gameplay. Show us the gameplay.
I think, like, especially with Battlefield, like, their games always look good.
Yeah.
They've always looked like when they have like I think there's like tornadoes and shit in this game now.
Levolution, dog.
Levolution. Like that's always looked cool. And so like you know what you're going to get with Battlefield. We just kind of want to know the setting in which we're getting it.
Yeah.
So
you know what you're going to get with Battlefield, which for me personally was why I was like, nah, like always. Like personally, I don't mind Battlefield. I have nothing against Battlefield. Battlefield are very good games. But personally, they're just not for me because I don't normally like huge, like big scale PvP stuff. I usually like smaller scale PvP stuff. And I've just never really loved the feeling of the guns in Battlefield. I like preferred Call of Duty and Destiny and other FPS kind of games. But I'll check it out. My friend Jared was like, oh, if they release a free, because they've apparently been teasing like a free to play mode of some kind that they haven't been talking about that is or is not, but probably is battle royale.
Just like Warzone,
he was like,
yeah, you have to. You have to these days.
I know, right? It's like you got to. He was like, if they release a free to play battle royale, would you try it? And I was like, sure. I mean, I don't know.
I wouldn't want it to be battle royale because I still
like
hate battle royales in where it's like there's just like not luck, but like
I like them more than I give credit to. But it is not like I do go through phases where I play some battle royales and have a good time, but I definitely don't love them, and they are not my multiplayer. They're not my multiplayer competition of any kind. Like that's why I like, for example, Rogue Company, because it's a base like this is a map. these are the characters, this is what they have. Like, you go in, you know what the fuck's gonna go on, and there's 4v4. I don't know. It's I like more competitive stuff like that, but I was like, I'll try, and maybe it's cool. You never know.
One competitive thing that I have played this week.
Yeah.
I played some Iron Banner.
Oh, did you? I did not. I have not played Destiny almost at all this week. I was gonna play a little bit today, but
I was surprised that I actually had fun playing Iron Banner.
I've heard the PvP stasis nerfs have actually been pretty good.
Yeah, for one, I think I was frozen like maybe twice.
Yeah.
So like,
I think
shotguns. I think shotguns are gonna need a little nerf. Some of these shotguns are fucking ridiculous, strong. And it's like you're like 20 feet away from me, and you just no. That's not how shotguns.
The problem with shotguns for me is that I will play games like that where people fucking snipe me from 30 miles away, and then I put one on, and I try and put one on that's even like the same kind of stats and whatnot, and I can't kill somebody fucking point blank in front of me. And I'm like, God damn it! So I can't do it.
Shotguns
but
are.
Here's my thing with the PvP in Destiny right now with the stasis nerfs. From what I've heard, people, whenever they play, are not really getting frozen too much because people just aren't running stasis. But that's kind of where I'm at when it's like, I don't think we're really going to be able to tell how good the nerfs are for a little bit because everybody now is just kind of scared to run it. They're just like not doing it.
No, because like when you're slowed, you just like it's still and like the supers are still very strong. But like if you put like the slow grenade on or something like that, like you don't get taken. I don't think you don't get taken out. You can still like shoot while you're being slowed. There's stuff like that. I just think that it's a lot better. You're not being frozen.
I did see that
so many times, so many different ways.
Yeah.
I'll probably play a little bit more PvP, but I'm. Now we just need more maps and stuff in Destiny.
I did Iron Banner a month ago when it showed up, and I actually got through all the bounties and stuff, and I had a good time. I will say, when I played later, like a few weeks later, or actually this last week when Iron Banner came back, I was looking on the director and saw Iron Banner, and then saw the Iron Banner freelance playlist, and was like, shit. That was there the whole time, wasn't it?
You weren't doing freelance? I could have
just done
I was doing freelance.
I
always do freelance, but I think that there's skill-based matchmaking in freelance.
God,
I think there's skill-based matchmaking.
But I regretted it. I was like, damn it, I should have done that.
Yeah, that was.
But
good.
I don't have any plans on playing Iron Banner anytime soon. I still got plenty of Pinnacle stuff to do if I even wanted to. But not gonna lie, after watching the Ubisoft Forward today, the one thing that I'm like, fuck, I want to get back to, but I know I will not, is Assassin's Creed. I still want to go back to Odyssey one day. But now
Odyssey.
The problem is I want to go back to Odyssey. Well, no, because my goal was to go to Valhalla one day when I beat Odyssey, which is gonna be in 7 years.
You haven't even like rolled credits on just like the regular story.
God no. But the problem now is that Odyssey used to be my game that just whenever I wanted an open world game, I just hop back into Odyssey and pick up pretty easily and just keep on going, which was nice. But now that's Immortals, because now I want 100% Immortals. So it's like, well, shit.
You just want 100% all these games. See, that's
I know that I can't do. I can't.
I don't know if it's an age thing, but I used to platinum all the games I could.
I mean, I used to as well. Now I'm just like, I only want to. I know that I'm not.
But the thing, I don't know if it's an age thing or if it's just like a different kind of taste where it's like I just want to play the game as much as I want, and I don't feel like doing trophy where it's like get a 1,000 hit combo in certain games, or collect all of these things that will not actually give you anything that will significant, or it's just like, no, I'm gonna play the game for the fun that I think of, and I don't care if stuff is left on the map. And the more and more I feel that you do that, the more and more it's easy to do that, because I used to be that one where it was like every little star or question mark, especially in like Witcher, where it was like every question mark I had to go and I had to see and I had to finish whatever that is, and I had to get all of the things.
Oh
and
God,
it's just
Witcher!
Like,
Jesus Christ, that's the worst game to do
I know.
that in. That's probably
and
what
the thing
broke.
is, like, I've never beaten The Witcher because and I guess I could go back to that because I would always 100%. I tried to 100% an area before going to the next, but it's like it's almost impossible. There's just so much fucking shit in those games, and a lot of it is, no offense to I was gonna say Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red, but like there's a lot of that stuff that is kind of shit. It's just like not really anything significant. It's just like, here's a collectible, here's 22 coin from killing this little monster thing. There's just
the problem,
at least for me, when I play these open world games, it's like I'm just going to do the things that I find fun. If I'm starting a side thing and I'm like, this isn't fun, or I don't want to do this, I just stop it right there. I just cut it off and just keep going to something else.
I honestly do that with a lot of games, but the problem is there are some games that I just genuinely find myself really, really liking, and I'm like, I want, and I know just depending on the types of games, I know that I would have fun like platinuming it and 100%ing it. Like Immortals, I have gone through a good bit of that game still, like trying to 100% it. Like I've gone through most of the story again on like the hardest difficulty in New Game Plus, and I've done the DLCs and stuff like that. And I'm still having fun. I still like it whenever I play it. That's just the problem. There are certain games where I genuinely am like, I would have fun doing this and I would like to. And now Ratchet and Clank feels like one of those games again. I'm just, I don't know. But the way I'm playing Ratchet right now is
you're never going to, because you just have more games that you want 100%. So you're never going to 100%.
I know. But in Ratchet, the way I'm literally playing it right now, I'm trying not to play any off stream. I'm trying to just play it on stream. And when I'm playing, like when I was playing the last couple of nights, I'm just kind of naturally like, there's a main story. There are very clearly side collectibles and shit to explore and whatnot. But I just go forward to the main story. And sometimes it'll be like another main story beat. And you can, or I'll just find myself naturally turning around and running around looking for collectibles instead. And I'm like, because this is fun and this is what I want to do right now. And then like, I'll look for collectibles and run around and do that for like an hour or so. And then I will be like, okay, I'm going back to the main story now without even finishing everything. I'll just be like, all right, I'm not feeling it anymore. You know, that's where I'm at right now. But Tyson, could we take a quick break real quick so that I could walk this fucking dog who has her head in my lap, which means she has to shit. So I'm going to go take her out. And then when we come back, we can do like, I don't know, talk about literally Ubisoft Forward and Devolver. That's pretty much it. Oh, I want to hear about the Gearbox stuff too. Ubisoft.
I need to get Game Pass because it's $1 for 3 months right now.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! You got to get on those fucking special deals they do, dude. That's wild. I got Discord Nitro from Epic Game Store for 3 months for free. They just gave it, so I'd open that up if you want that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to play on Game Pass.
There is a lot of shit. Yeah. That's for sure. If I could, I haven't called EA. No, I haven't called them, but Knockout City is one that's on there. It is pretty fun. They added some other ones too recently. Let me take a look.
No, the only real Ubisoft game from that conference was Mario. Was it Mario versus Rabbids?
Mario plus Rabbids.
Mario plus Rabbids
2. I think it's called like something
Skydome
of hope.
Something,
Space of
Star
Hope.
of Hope.
Something like that.
Something weird.
I really like the aesthetic. It looks cool.
Yeah, the first one was good. I got it physical, and then I just returned it. And I can't remember why. Like, I played maybe 10, 15 hours of it, and it was good, but I think maybe I was trading it in for something else. But now I kind of want to get it again. So I'm trying to find, like, it's on sale in a lot of places, so I might pick it up and just, like, kind of play through that again. I like the grid-based combat like XCOM, even though there's like the Marvel XCOM rumor I think that's supposed to be during the PC games showcase.
God, if anything is during the PC game showcase. Usually there's not much there. I've literally never watched a PC game showcase.
XCOM was, man, XCOM, just fucking chef's kiss of a grid-based game. Love XCOM.
Yeah.
And then, so if there's like an XCOM Marvel game, that would be so cool. I would love that.
That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I'd be into that.
So, but yeah, everything else from the Ubisoft was just like, yeah, that's fine. It's your basic Ubisoft kind of stuff. Like
it was about what it was exactly what I expected from a Ubisoft Forward, where they're like, here are about 5-6 of our current games, and here's what's happening with them, with like 2 or 3 announcements. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like
and then they spend like 20 minutes on
Extinction.
each of those 5 games.
That was cool. I'll probly look into that.
Look cool. I am interested in that. That should be
yeah.
something that I would be into.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the Ubisoft Forward as a presentation was fine. It was okay. It was good. But when it comes to just games that I'm into, Riders Republic does look fun. I am still interested in that. I think that'll be a fun time. Other than that, Extraction looks kind of cool. I might be into that. I don't know.
That Riders thing looks just like, it's just like they're like, let's look at every extreme outdoor sport and put it into one game. And I'm just like,
it's literally all of them. It's
why?
like, okay. The wingsuit thing looks fun. The wingsuit one looks fun.
It's like the Crew, but with outdoor sports. That's exactly what it is.
I'm down. You know, sometimes I like shredding the pipes. I don't know. That's a
just make an SSX. Just make that again.
Do they own that? That was Ubisoft, right?
Probably.
I don't know.
Ubisoft probably has like a snowboarding. Like make like a game, an arcadey, like
but it's not just
snowboarding.
You know.
I know, but that's the thing is like
they did Steep.
Yeah, they did Steep. That's right. But Steep was again, they're just putting everything under one umbrella. When it's like with the Crew, it was like, hey, you like guys like racing games. Well, how would you like to race boats? Would you like to race planes, motorcycles, off-roading? And I'm just like, no, just give me fucking Need for Speed. Like, just give me just find the one thing that you're good at in the game and just do that. That's my only take on all of these games that have like so much in them. It's just that like it's just so much that probably won't ever be played. It's like
maybe.
With the Crew. Remember the first Crew where it was like, oh, you could drive across America.
Yeah.
And like nobody, you tried to do it, and it's what you couldn't actually just drive across America. But
I don't know. I don't normally care about racing games or in general sports games or any sort of extreme sports game or anything like that. But I like games that take IRL things and put them and make them very arcadey. And that looked extremely just arcadey, and this is a video game, and I'm like, cool, sounds fun, sign me up. I like the wingsuit bit where they have fucking rockets, so I don't know what that was about. Much for me. It looks fun, I don't know. But other than that, not too much. I liked the fact that they showed off the Avatar game that Massive has been working on for like 5 years is wild to me that still exists.
It's wild that the fucking movies, the sequel movies still exist.
Apparently.
Oh, man. Why? I don't know. I'm sorry, but nobody cares about like the Avatar. Nobody cares about that property.
Yeah.
I doubt James Cameron cares about it anymore. He's probably like, get me out of here. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that like, well, we'll see what the gameplay is like, but it's going to be weird.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that they're still making it. Like, I honestly figured that was like done because it's been a long ass time since that was announced. And when they said one more thing, I thought about that. I was like, what if? Or Massive, I think it is Massive, is also supposed to be doing a Star Wars game. I know that is very early in development, so I figured there probably wouldn't be anything there. But in the back of my head, I was like, what if? Also, yeah, one thing to note: no Splinter Cell again. Shocker to literally no one.
I think it's dead. I think that whole
I don't think they have any.
Which is the dumbest thing.
There's been no rumors either. You know what I mean? After all these years with all these like insiders, there would be rumors of a Splinter. Nothing. Yeah. It's not happening. Like, which is weird to me. I don't fully understand why.
It's such a great franchise, and like when you think of all the games that we play nowadays, like to have a game. I remember playing. I think it was Blacklist, Blackout,
Splinter Cell Blacklist. I think was the last one.
Where you could go through every mission and you could either like be a ghost and like kind of go throughout the whole mission and not kill anybody or not be seen by anybody or go like guns blazing and kill everybody. You could take like each route to that mission. It's like people love that kind of shit. Like that's why we love Dishonored and we love these games that like give us choice on, even with like Assassin's Creed, they said like the DLC is giving you like an objective but not telling you like how to do it. You can get to that objective in many ways, and like that just screams Splinter Cell to me. Like that's he's just
I guess,
and like the same with Hitman. Hitman's huge these days, and that's exactly what Hitman is.
I don't understand because Ubisoft at this point doesn't really have like a stealth series anymore. Like Assassin's Creed probably would have used to be that, but it's not really that anymore. Division definitely isn't that. Rainbow Six, like they have a lot of tactical kind of games, but they don't have any.
Like
they still make
what is it? Content for Ghost? Was it Ghostlands? Wildlands?
Oh no! So they're still making content for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I thought was so fucking funny the way they did that. Right? They did the live service montage. That's the most recent one, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They did the live service montage of all these different games, and it seemed like it got more and more desperate. Like the first one was like Brawlhalla, I think. I don't know. There was a couple ones like that. Then there was like Trackmania, a bunch of little games that they do. For Honor, right? Which For Honor is actually a very cool story that game is like. That game's still crazy successful and has like a big community and like they add a lot of content to it. And then at the end, there was like a Watch Dogs one, right? Watch Dogs Legion, which apparently they're adding like some sort of weird zombie thing to it, like co-op 4-player zombie thing. I don't know, that's a whole thing. But at the end, it said return to Watch Dogs. And I made a joke on my stream of like, please, I beg you, come back to Watch Dogs. I promise it's not that bad.
It's so weird.
And then right after that, the next one was Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and it stopped and was like an announcer was like, we've been adding based on your feedback. Please, I promise it's better now. I swear to God.
And they didn't like in that like kind of montage. They didn't have any Division 2 stuff. It's weird that like
what I thought at the end. The one more thing I figured it could either be an early show at Star Wars, it could be the Avatar massive thing, or it could be Division Heartland is what it's supposed to be called, which is their free to play Division thing that they're working on. But they're also working on another Division game apparently. So that's the whole thing. But yeah, nothing of that yet. It's about what I figured. The whole Ubisoft thing. But yeah, speaking of Splinter Cell, it is just odd because at this point, I feel like they should at the very least be working on it. And at this point, with how the big fucking fervor for Splinter Cell, I imagine we'd hear rumors, and we haven't. But it's just weird because like at this point, after this many years, if you're not paying attention to like any sort of reactions to the Ubisoft Forwards, like you really should be. And every single time, people are like, "Where the fuck Splinter Cell?" Like you should be able to hear that and be like,
you also should be able to
probably make a
kill certain games to make more games. So like sometimes you gotta kill Ghost Recon. Is there like a big community for Ghost Recon that I don't know?
Not for Breakpoint, but Wildlands sold incredibly well. Wildlands sold insane.
It's sold incredibly, but it did not have legs. That's the thing. It did not have legs. It sold incredibly well because at the very beginning, everybody was so excited. And I was excited for it too. I bought it. It was fun. And I played it. And then that was it. There was nothing more in the game. It did not have legs. And it was supposed to be a service game. And there was no service to it.
I mean, not really. They had DLC, but it wasn't supposed to. It's not like the Division or anything like that.
Yeah, like, no, but it's the same with like Assassin's Creed. Like, they still have like free updates, free, what is it? Like, events. They have like live events in the game. They did that with
we were talking
Wildlands,
about
but
we were talking about Valhalla
really
during the conference, and there was like they showed off like the next thing that they're doing is like that, you know, discovery tour, like the history thing and whatnot. Yeah. But I was curious because I had a friend in chat say that he bought Valhalla on sale, like on used at one point, and he just figured he'd wait until like everything is out for it and then play it. And I'm like, that's pretty smart. And I Googled like to see if everything was out for it and like what was left. And apparently there's supposed to be like free updates. There's supposed to be like 4 big free updates was supposed to come. And 2 of those have come. The first big expansion came out. And then there's supposed to be another expansion. And I think that's it. I think there's supposed to be 2 expansions.
Huge already without all the expansions.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
it's wild. Like... And but the second one is supposed to come out at some point in summer 2021. But I, not gonna lie, man, watching a little bit of Valhalla gameplay made me be like, goddamn, I'd like to get back to Odyssey because Valhalla looks like fucking cool, and I like Assassin's Creed.
It was good. It wasn't as good as Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey legitimately is so good. I really.
That was the game that they should have like had like spin-offs, even a sequel. Like that game could have stood on its own and like done more with Cassandra. And
some people argue they did way too much. Personally, I like it, but from what I've heard, people are like, "Why did they make so much Odyssey content?"
But it's all good though. But that's the same with like Valhalla.
Yeah, Valhalla though they trimmed down. That was supposed to be the whole thing. I mean, they did. They based on average playtime, they did. But it is
but like content
it's still huge. It's still big.
Like the map size alone is still this. Like it's still pretty comparable to Odyssey when you because like Odyssey
less stuff to
it looks bigger, but it's because like all of these islands are spread out. When you're in England,
Odyssey's
it's all
such a giant ass fucking map.
It's all like kind of compact, but then you also have like Norway because you can go back there. Yeah. Both games are very, very big. I think character wise, Cassandra was a lot better than Eivor.
I really
female
like
Eivor
as a character,
and so that's why it never really like hooked me.
Yeah. Looking at like just comparing completionist. Actually, they're like the same.
That's what I just said.
They're like the same, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird, though.
I remember seeing that. Like, I remember seeing that on Twitter when people were saying, yes, it's shorter, and then like it came out, and then like a couple months after it came out, people were like, yeah, it's not shorter.
Yeah, that's so weird. That is very weird. Even main story, like if you wanted to mainline the main story, Odyssey's technically shorter. Yeah. That's wild.
Odyssey's story is not long. There's just a lot of side stuff that is actually... There's a lot of good side stuff, and there's a lot of bad side stuff, and it's very hard to differentiate what is what. That's the one thing. Yeah. I wish that, like... I know that... I wish in these games, and they would never do them, but like if... Say you did a mission, like a single-player mission, and then you just graded that mission. So like a side mission.
Well, they used to do that. They used in Assassin's Creed Unity, I believe. They had where at the end of every mission you could rate it, which was weird, but
wasn't it like was that user created missions, I think?
No, that was all of them.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Maybe it was just story missions or something like that, but I think it was all the missions. A little thing popped up and had like, but it was very simple. It was just 5 stars.
Because I would love if they gave that back, and then like all of the side missions you could grade, and then you could either like have like a hide anything below this on your map.
That'd be cool.
So that when you're going through, you can kind of just get like what people think are the best.
I wonder how many hours I have in Odyssey right now. I think I have more hours right now in Immortals than I do Odyssey. After even having played Odyssey,
I have more hours in Odyssey because I completed the story on PlayStation, and then I completed the story on PC.
Yeah,
and then I did the DLC on PC.
I wanted to 100%. Man, the main reason why I want to get through Odyssey is because, like, what I have seen of the Odyssey, not just single player story with Cassandra and whatnot, which I like a lot, but they actually were genuinely doing something from what I've seen with modern day. There was a modern day protagonist, and from what I have seen and heard of the DLC's even more like bring in a fucking like modern day mythology shit. Like Odyssey itself as a game has touched more on the fucking like the ones who came before than fucking Assassin's Creed since like AC2. Like it's wild.
I'm gonna
from what I've
say
heard and seen.
no.
Literally from what I have seen so far, even just in the game, like the ones of the First Civilization, I have seen more First Civilization content in 40 hours of that game than in like 2 through 3.
But I mean, in the
like,
DLC,
there's a
like
lot
I
of
don't
it.
think that like they touch on like Layla or anything because she's not actually like physically connected to. That was the other thing that's kind of
It's so weird. I saw literally like gameplay from DLC where like her and Cassandra were like interacting, and I was like, oh fuck, spoilers. Like,
yeah, but
that
it's
sounds that's
it
pretty
still has
big.
nothing to, no, but it's not though. It's not like big. Like it's not. It has nothing to do with the current day. Like the current day story, and it's the same with Valhalla. Like Layla's in Valhalla as well. And that's the thing. Is like nothing is ever really.
I don't
pertinent.
expect them to take Layla and make her a main character or anything.
It's literally just throwaway content that, like, as soon as it is, if you tell me anybody who likes watching or like listening to the cutscenes of Layla, and then you're like one and only.
No, that we've talked about this before. I like the modern day stuff. I like when they have a protagonist, and then they fucking took out a protagonist for most of the series.
But the protagonist is the one
they're doing
in the protagonist is the one in that you're like playing as.
That's why I said modern day protagonist.
Like the story, I can still tell you the story of Cassandra and the story of Odyssey.
We don't need
I cannot tell you the story of the current day and Layla. Like nobody cares.
I do, and a lot of people do as well. My friend Andrew definitely does, and we've always been mad about what they've done with the modern day story because it's been really shit until Origins, where they kind of brought it back into a little bit more relevance, and it seems like they are actually paying it respect. But doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about this. But yeah, I do want to go back to Odyssey at one point.
Just kill it.
No,
kill it like in Black Flag.
And then the community,
Kill it like
the people like me actually were upset about it, so they brought it back at least to where it's not super intrusive. But it's good for us, but also good for you guys.
They didn't bring it back like as a story. They brought it back as a conduit to be like, oh yeah, this is how you're still able to play as the
But they could have done that in the way that they did with fucking I think it was Unity. What's the one before Unity?
Black Flag.
Technically, yeah, then it was Unity. I just thought I remembered it being a different one, but it must have been Unity. There's one where it was literally just cutscenes. And even then, it was, all right, agent, you got to get back in there. All right, bye. Honestly, and I was like, okay, this is nothing.
They really should just cut the rest of that.
I mean, they basically did
play
at that
the
point.
back, like the actual story of Assassin's Creed.
You are the majority of Assassin's Creed fans.
Yes.
And I was always mad at you and the majority of the Assassin's Creed fans.
We were right.
Because I really liked the modern day story, and because of y'all, they basically cut it out. But now they're trying to give both people the best of both worlds. So just accept where you are and let me have it.
No.
Let me have it, for the love of God. Don't fucking take it from me.
No, take it because it's bad.
No, I would rather it's not though.
Yes, it is. The stuff with Layla is bad.
It's not bad. It's
okay,
not
then
bad.
What is the stuff with Layla?
It's very basic, but it's not bad.
What is it? Like
literally where I'm at right now is they're hunting down like an artifact. And actually, where I left off.
That's the whole game, though. She always just hunts down. She's like a Tomb Raider, but then she just jumps back into the fucking. That's just such. I would rather have no story.
I want some through line. I like having the modern day stuff because I think it's interesting. It doesn't have to be much,
but it doesn't affect
anything. Okay, I think it's interesting. That affects it for me. I don't know. I like it. I just personally like it. Okay, how dare you?
Well, I don't get it because it's story. You don't like. I thought you don't like story in video games. So why would you care about this?
Oh my god. Both of us immediately take a drink, look at the camera.
It's true, though. All you say
Literally
is like,
not.
"Oh, I just want to play. I just want to play the video game. I just want to play the video game. I just want to play the video game." But then this you're taken out of the video game that you're playing, literally, because you're being Cassandra. You're running around killing dudes, and then it's like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna pull you back into this other person who you don't really know about because we never gave you any time with her. And then here we're gonna try and talk about some things that are going on, but then you're just gonna go back and play Cassandra again." It's literally a hurdle that you have to jump over to get back into playing the game.
But the point is, like, people in the past throughout AC1 through 3, at least, all, like, a big portion of the Assassin's Creed fan base were straight up like, "Oh, I hate it. It ruins the immersion. They pull you out. I don't care about what's going on over here." Like, literally exactly this, right? But I actually really cared because I thought the story was super fucking interesting about the ones who came before, and it actually was kind of leading up to something. And then they said, "Fuck you, we're annualizing this shit." But and because of that, they then basically now, like, for me, when they pull you out with Layla, there is actually stuff that you can read. There's shit about Desmond. Like, there's actually stuff there. But for you, you can literally just walk back to the Animus and press E.
I know, but it's that's so annoying that you took me out of the game to talk to this person who nobody cares about. And it's
for me, it legitimately gives me, like, a lot of enjoyment. Let me have that. Take your 30 seconds of loading, okay?
Cut it all out. Cut it. I say cut it out.
That's just mean.
Why? Because the thing is that the story of Assassin's Creed
that part of the fan base legitimately does enjoy. There is a part of the fan base that enjoys it. This is why they found the medium. Wherefore, people like you can just go the fuck back in the anime.
This isn't a medium.
But for people like me, I can look into it. It's not the same. Like, back in 3, you had to come out of the modern day and fucking climb a goddamn thing and go to a modern skyscraper and climb that. Like, there was legitimate, like, sections of the game.
But the problem with the stuff now in current day is it's not going anywhere. The thing with Desmond is he had an actual arc of a story over the four games. He actually had a story that was actually going somewhere, and things were happening in current day that were actually doing stuff. With Layla, none of that shit is happening. There is no climax to her story, and so that's why it feels like a waste of my time and a waste of resources just to be like, "Oh, hey, just to remind you that, like, hey, this is Layla, and here I'm in the Animus. Oh, now I've been taken out. Oh, what's going on outside? Okay, I'm going to go back into the Animus." There's no story for her. Like, there's nothing. There's no character development. There's nothing for her. Even with Desmond, there was character development.
I can't remember exactly what happened with Origins because I played it fucking forever ago. But, like...
But the thing is like,
sure
you played...
in Origins, she met, like, she started off as, like, a Templar, basically, as, like, an Abstergo agent. Then, like, Assassins basically rescued her from where she was. And I don't know. It seems like some shit's happening, at least. And right now in Origins, we literally, like, I got to a section where I actually swam, yep, that's a word, swam down. Like, I went where Cassandra was, which I thought was cool. Like, you got pulled out and you were Layla, and you actually had a section where you hopped down in and, like, found the artifact that she had found. I don't know. It seems I'm enjoying what I have played of it, but it's okay. I'm just saying I would like to get back to Odyssey one day. Oh my god!
If it's a cancerous limb, you just chop it off.
How many hours? Yeah, I legitimately have more hours in Immortals now than oh god, a good bit than Odyssey. I have like 42 in Odyssey, but to be fair, I played like 20 of Odyssey as well on PlayStation a while back. But on PC, I have like 42. And then of Immortals, I have 92. 92 hours of Immortals Phoenix Rising. And there's still so much, like, if I actually wanted to play the DLCs and actually just go through those instead of, right now, I've just been working on the main game of, like, 100%ing. There's so much more. Like, the third DLC is a whole ass ARPG. There's, like, a lot of upgrades and items and shit, but video games are fucking cool, man. Like, I've been having so much fun with games lately. Like, even just having a little bit of conferences with like Ubisoft and stuff today has got me a little bit excited. Like Ratchet has been so fucking good. Like, I don't know. Video games are great. I've been having a blast playing them. And Vault of Glass has been fun. Want to get back to doing that more. Who knows if I will? Probably not. I know that Grandmasters are coming in like a couple of weeks. I am not ready and will not be ready. I just want to do one though. All I want to do is one. I want to do one Grandmaster before the end of the season.
Well, you gotta get up there pretty high.
I know. I would need to be 1320 gear, you know.
You have to be 1320 gear, and then you have to have a plus 15 artifact or a plus 16.
I don't know what my artifact is right now. That's a good question. Hold on.
Plus 15 artifact is around 100 rank 110.
Oh, okay. I could do that. It's possible. Yeah, I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break with Destiny lately because I've been playing other games, but I should get back to it. I've been having fun with it this season, so I should hop back in.
The season's been something. Yeah. I don't know.
I've been having a good time. It's been fun. I don't know. That's probably it. There's been a lot that happened this last week. Next week we can do E3 Part 2. We can talk about what happened Sunday through, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever.
I watched the first season of this anime called Attack on Titan.
Yeah? Did you?
It's not bad. It's all right. It's a good.
Finished
it's a
like
good
the whole
show.
first season?
Yeah, it's only 25 episodes.
Oh hell yeah, though! I love that. That's great, dude. Fuck yeah. The
I've
first
been going
season
back and
ends
forth between
pretty well. Like there's not like a giant cliffhanger or anything. But see, we had to wait so many goddamn years for season 1 to 2. Like, I think it was literally like 5 at least. Like, it was a long ass time.
5 years in between.
It was a long time. It might have been less. Let me look it up.
Well, it's only been since 2013. It says
2013.
2013 it started.
I remember watching season 2, like in college. And I watched season 1 when I was like 15, 16 in high school. Let me look it up though. I know it was a while, but I don't know exactly how long. Maybe I'm exaggerating. It was just a couple of years or something. 4. Yeah, 4 years. I did that math correctly. Yeah. 2017 for the second season, and then 2013 for the first season. Yeah. And then after that, though, 2017, 2018, 2019. Like, come on. Come on, man.
Well, there was a writer's strike or something.
Dude, I don't remember what happened. I have heard about it. Like, I looked into it because I was so fucking curious. But, yeah, that, like, it was dumb. I remember when they finally announced season 2. I was like, what the fuck? Honestly, it's the biggest example of kind of like, if season 2 had quickly followed up, that show would have been even more in the popular like zeitgeist for a much longer time, because season 1 was fucking huge in America, and then they did nothing for 4 years. So like,
it was good.
Yeah, it was just it blew good up. Like, it was really popular at the time, man. It was wild.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
I promise you, it's not where you would expect.
That's what I've heard. One of my friends said that.
It's weird, dude.
Like, pretty much he says like it just goes like this. Like, you'll be waiting for the show to kind of like, dip, because all of these shows will always have like a couple of, even like the popular animes or even just popular shows always have a couple episodes where you're like, oh, I don't know. But he said this one, it just keeps going up, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. I finished like Jujutsu Kaisen, so then I started Attack on Titan. Then I'll finish this. And I'll have to
honestly, I'm very jealous of you. You should go through. I will say, most annoying thing, you've heard me talk about it, but like earlier this year, they did the final season, and then it ended, and they're like, oh yeah, the second half of the final season coming out later the year. So like, okay, but yeah, it's not done yet, so you can't binge it all the way through. But
we'll see.
What you should do is, honestly, this is basically how I did Game of Thrones back in the day. I went through literally all 7 seasons, like binging it, and then watch season 8 live with people. You'd basically be able to do that with this, with like the second half of the final season, which is later in the fall. Be good.
Well, yeah, like there's not that many episodes in the second and third season, and then the fourth even too. So
yeah, you could definitely do it. I will want to know your thoughts when you get to certain story beats, because there are certain.
I was
bits
talking
that are like,
one of my friends because he was asking me about it, and because I was only in the first season, I'm like, oh, I really like Mikasa. Like she's like my favorite.
She's pretty cool.
Like she's badass, and then he said something. He's like, oh, I hate you, and I'm like. Obviously, he's further down, so I'm like, oh, so I wonder.
Even from that, I don't know what he's about.
I'm like,
Mikasa's great.
I'm like,
She's always good.
I'm like, I just wonder, but I'm like, no, like she's great. Aaron's okay. I don't know. He's your typical typical pro tag. He's your typical like pro tag where.
It's true.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you found out? I mean, spoilers for Attack on Titan.
Spoilers
also,
for
we gotta
2013.
talk about Loki. Oh man, we gotta talk.
It was
about
good. Loki was good. This episode, I don't know. It was very.
There wasn't much going on.
No.
They just kind of were like, here he is.
They kind of told, but I don't know. It was good.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see more Loki and Tom Hiddleston like bringing a little bit more emotion to the character, even though it's weird because it's like this isn't the Loki that we've like grown with.
So what my theory
like a weird
is
thing.
that they kind of had to take the first episode, and what it seems like is they took the first episode to kind of be like, here is 2012 Loki. It's very clearly 2012,
very edgy,
very post Avengers Loki, but we kind of have to in a very short amount of time get him at least somewhat to where he was at like Endgame period. So I mean,
like we hated him at Avengers.
Yeah.
We didn't like him, but then we love Loki now.
But we're not using the Loki that we loved, but we do have Loki, so we want to kind of get him there, but recognize that he's not the same character. So it took a lot of time to do that in the first episode, but I think that was kind of smart to have it like. I thought it was nice how they had him literally view his like what happened to him in the future. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was cool.
You see on Twitter, everybody was going crazy where it's like, this scene in Loki was taken from Toy Story.
No? What?
Yeah. That scene where he's seeing himself die is a parallel to Buzz seeing the Buzz Lightyear cartoon so that he knows that he's not actually Buzz Lightyear and he's actually just a cartoon, and you can like see it in his face where, like, that realization. And like I see that's cool, but people are going crazy over it. And I'm like, I don't know. They're both kind of like I could both see like it makes sense to kind of take a little from that kind of moment of Toy Story, and they're both Disney, so that's I don't know.
It was good though. I never would have thought about that.
I liked it. I like how it looks. It looks very nice and futuristic, and we're gonna get some pretty crazy things.
Yeah,
I think I like the whole timeline thing. I like that.
Well, here, slight spoilers on Loki if you haven't already dipped. Slight spoilers on Attack on Titan Season 1 from 2013. Because legit, I do want to discuss a couple of the things that happened there. Loki, though, the one thing that I thought was weird at the end, they were like, Owen Wilson, Mobius, I guess, was like, the variant that we're tracking is another version of you. And then they go to the whole, which is cool. And I kind of like that the idea of the Loki show is like, we got a good Loki versus a bad Loki. That's the most Loki-ass shit. Like,
but I don't understand.
I thought about that halfway through the episode. I thought about like, who's gonna be the villain in a Loki show if Loki's the hero? And then later they're like, oh, it's Loki, and I'm like, that. You know what? Perfect.
But how?
Like, all right.
My question is how.
I don't know. They'll explain that. It'll be interesting. But my only complaint is that he said that, and then at the end of the episode, they go to that whole scene where the couple of like Minutemen or whatever are like checking out a timeline or a time variant or whatever.
And then Kylo Ren shows up.
Yeah, fucking Kylo Ren burns him alive. But like they cut the episode with like a silhouetted dude with a hood. Like,
that's Loki.
You said it. I know. So why not? Like, I just thought that was really weird that they kept it like a mystery. I'm like, but you told us. Like, I don't know. But maybe it is somebody else. I don't know why it would be, but I don't know. I thought that was odd.
Yeah.
But overall, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked Owen Wilson. I thought he was a cool character.
When Loki said something about like he knows that he can't go back or something like that, I'm like, I wonder they're gonna have to be like they're tying this in so that he comes back into
I don't know,
the one
man.
timeline.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing that I watched Kind of Funny's like review on the episode, and the one thing that Andy said that I 100% kind of agreed with was that like it's a very nitpicky thing, but it just felt kind of odd of how like he used this scene as an example when Loki opened up the drawer and we're like Infinity Stones, and he's like, yeah, we use them for paperweights around here, and which is funny, but Andy thought it was kind of weird to be like, we spent like 10 years building those up, and now it's just like nothing, which is fair.
I think that's really, I thought it was really smart to do that, to be like, oh yeah, here's these Infinity Stones that for the past 10 years, as viewers, we even were like, oh my God, it's an Infinity Stone. Those things are so powerful. And now they've like taken that power that we've thought and like put it down here.
Yeah,
meaning
it's just kind of
that there are
weird.
threats out there that are even bigger than the Infinity Stones, which I feel that they need to do because they can't just have like another big bad and then be like, yeah, but we have Infinity Stones.
It's definitely something that they need to do, and I'm glad that they're starting to do it. But it's just weird because Marvel spent 10 years very carefully establishing power, you know what I mean, and establishing stakes, and then in like what it was very quick to just be like, instead of like 10 years of like gradually building up the power slope, it was like one episode they're like, oh, yep, going up here.
That is one episode, and then even with Eternals, like we're gonna get things that are way beyond our scope of what we think of like as powerful beings in this universe. So I feel that they kind of need to. I think we had the Infinity Saga, and like
so one
that's
thing,
over.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you have to establish a bigger threat and more power, and like you got to figure that out. But as somebody who doesn't really read Marvel comics and I don't really know a ton about them, I thought this was interesting. In the little episode review that Kind of Funny did, Tim was talking about how most people, the theory as to where they are going with it is that they are going to Secret Wars, which I didn't really know what Secret Wars was, but the way he described it legitimately sounds exactly like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Apparently,
Nobody knows what that is.
Oh my God. It was a big event on both Marvel and DC, but like talking about Marvel, from what I heard there, it was a big comic book event where like a bunch of different timelines and dimensions all like came together to fight a threat, and then like all of the dimensions and Earths and whatnot collided and are now one. Whereas, you know, before it was a multiverse, and now it's like one dimension. And that's literally exactly what happens with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Whereas in the Arrowverse right now, they have Earth 1, where all of them are there, whereas before they were split. But I think that would be really cool, and that makes sense if that is what they're building up to, especially here.
I don't know if they're
with like timeline talk, you know?
Yeah, because we have the Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
as the Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we could be going around that kind of. I don't know if that's gonna be like.
It just sounds like something that would be a big fucking stake. You know what I mean? And with all of the multiverse shit that has been hinted at, both in, you know, WandaVision was very much hinted at, and now we're gonna go to that in multiverse, and also from the leaks and rumors of Spider-Man. Like, if this is kind of the theme of this phase, I could see that being the thing.
Yeah. Cool. I wonder if they're going to do the 3-phase arc.
Yeah, I don't know. Do another
and have the big payoff, and that's a lot. But I almost think I don't know if you need it. It'll be interesting.
You needed it, like the pacing of how they established Thanos and eventually got to that in fucking. I
guess Thanos was really only a 2 arc. A 2-phase arc, because the first phase was mostly just introducing all of the heroes, which now we don't really need. We need somewhat for like, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like,
for
we
new
need for
heroes,
like Eternals,
you are gonna have
Shang-Chi,
origin movies.
but then we're gonna have like Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4. So like we don't need a big setup phase.
I'm so excited. Yeah. That's gonna be so cool. Like, I'm very excited for Spider-Man at the end of the year. I can't fucking wait for Eternals. Like, I think that's gonna be the best movie to. I think that movie is very clearly going to establish like this is what we're doing now. Like phase. Like it's a very phase 4.
I'm excited for Black Widow because honestly,
oh man, when is
I
that?
still just want. It's like July 10th, I think.
Tickets still haven't gone on sale for that because I've actually thought about seeing that in theaters.
I think they're talking about it. I saw on Twitter that they're going to put them out on theaters. Yeah, like I'm more excited for Black Widow than I am for Spider-Man because
I just want to see if
I still
Tom
feel
Holland's lying to us.
I still feel that we got shafted out of a farewell to Natalie. And I feel that Natasha. What am I saying?
I feel like I feel like it's very interesting, the fact that they're doing like her movie after her death, basically.
Yeah.
That's not really been done. So I think that's going to be super interesting. And I think they have a very unique opportunity to give her a good farewell, but in a weird sort of way. But I think that'll be
cool.
It's
going to be a weird farewell because, they're going to have to allude something at the end of the movie that, then maybe there'll be a scene or I don't know. And then I hope that Florence, I think it's Pugh. I hope that she will become is going forward.
Yeah,
and she'll be like
cool.
She'll be like I don't know if the new Black Widow or just like another name, something like that.
Yeah,
but I hope
that'll be cool. I hope so too.
Pertinence.
Man, there is a lot of shit that like looking at what they announced or what was rumored and what was announced because there was already some stuff announced like after Endgame. It was hard to imagine, and it still kind of is, but now it's like starting to take shape. You know what I mean? Now you can kind of see like, oh fuck, okay, like I see where they can kind of go with this. Like, I can't wait. Like fucking Kevin Feige, man. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. And I am enjoying what they're doing so far. Like fucking, I really like WandaVision. I like Falcon and Winter Soldier. So far, Loki is fun.
I still think that those three shows, are one season and done.
I think so too. And I think if they ever do like decide to do a season 2 or something like that, like for example, WandaVision, if they do like WandaVision seemingly is leading into Doctor Strange because she's supposed to be in that. So it's like if they ever do a season 2 of any of these shows, I think they would do it specifically to serve the future. I think if they saw an opportunity of like even Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's to serve the next Captain America movie. Like there's Captain America 4 is with Sam.
I think these shows as they're titled and as they are right now are one season. They could do a continuation after another movie, but it's going to be titled something different. It's going to be
I could see that.
Because I think it's way too confusing, say for even just like a general fan to be like, "Oh, let's watch WandaVision."
Yeah.
You watch
and then
WandaVision season 1. And then you watch WandaVision season 2, but then you're like, no, wait, I have to watch a movie in between this. So instead,
I think that's true. You would have to do name it differently.
One seasons are perfect too, because then you're not I don't know.
You're not tied to anything, you know.
You're not tied to anything, and it's not like compared to the last season. If it's just like maybe the next season of like WandaVision is
you could.
I don't know.
Vision and Wanda. That's it.
Or
White
something
Vision
with
and
those
Wanda.
characters, but it's titled something different. Obviously, Captain or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe if it goes into a season 2, will be Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you know,
just like how
it's got to be something like that. But where in the future it will still serve the story, but it can also basically be like, this is kind of a season 2. You know what I mean? For like people like. I think that's a good way to go, and I think they would do that, honestly. Okay. I do want to say, though, Attack on Titan, I have 2 questions for you for Season 1.
Okay.
One of them was, did you like binge it, or did you watch like an episode of certain...
I binged it. Okay. Watched the first like 4, and then a couple, and then I watched the rest.
Because there was one episode where I watched it and I was in high school, so I literally had to go and my parents were going out of town, so I had to I went and spent the night at a friend's house, and I ended up watching that episode right before I had to leave, and it was the worst one to do that with. Because I was like, what the fuck? It was the one where Eren literally fucking got eaten.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then it cuts. It cuts to the end. And I'm like, but that was the main character. And then it ends. That was
I knew
wild.
he wasn't dead. I knew he wasn't dead just because, I don't know. I just had that feeling. One, if you see blood on a screen, that doesn't mean that the character's dead. If you see the character literally like in half, depending on the world that you're in, because you could have a Darth Maul
worlds
body.
It's gonna be
Darth Maul, just to give him robot legs.
But
in most worlds, if you see the character like with limbs off, he's dead. But all you saw was the Titan's jaws closed and then a bunch of blood, and I'm like, no, he's not dead.
It chomped on his arm too, so like, technically, yeah.
But I was like, you could get in a world where they have like these crazy OMDs, right?
Yeah, ODMs, something like that.
ODMs. I'm like, he could easily get a robot hand if he needed to. So I was like, okay, he's not actually dead. And they're playing so much into the death that I'm like, no, he's gonna have some weird, like he's gonna chop himself out of a Titan. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask, when did you figure out Titans were fucking humans? Because
when that one Titan started hitting the other Titans, I'm like, oh, is Eren like controlling him somehow? That's what I thought.
Yeah. When,
I thought like the Titan was an actual Titan, and Eren was like inside somehow controlling him, pulling nerves or something.
Yeah. I remember that reveal being like huge, because then I started to think of all the abnormal Titans and be like, wait, wait a minute. And yeah, you see that one of them at least is Annie at the end of season 1. I'm trying to be very careful with shit. One of them is Annie at the end of season 1. I think at that point, all you know is Annie is the female Titan, and right now at the end of season 1, she goes into a crystal, and she's there. And then Eren is is his Titan. I'm pretty sure that's all you know, right?
You still don't know the reasons. And so I was talking to Vizzy about it, because I was like, do they ever talk about like how the Titans come to be? And he's like, yeah, but not for a long time.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, as long as they
extensively.
because that's what I really hate that in some stories where it's like Walking Dead. Walking Dead, that's one of my biggest things. Is like, yeah, they're zombies. We have 10 seasons of a show. We never tell you how the zombies really came to be.
Yeah, but that's not really the point of that. Like some shows are like the point kind of is the origin. And
I still just want some backstory. I'm like,
that's fair.
Like especially coming from a Resident Evil fan, where it's like, the T virus got exposed.
I still want to watch The Walking Dead.
That kind of stuff.
Did you ever catch up on that? Did you watch that? You started that, right?
I started that season. I'm like halfway.
I was gonna start
fell
season
off at the
10.
same spot.
You got to do it, because I want to watch season 10, but I want to watch it like around the same time you're doing it.
Netflix needs to have that fast forward version, so I can just watch them really fast. Or maybe I'll just watch a synopsis of that season and then just jump into the next season.
Go to the next one. The next one is better. And then it gets even like, it just continues to get better. But fucking I had a friend who apparently figured out the female Titan like immediately. And I was like, what do you mean? But we didn't know that they could do that. It's just like, I just saw the face and thought. I was like, but I didn't.
So when the female Titan like grabbed Armin and didn't kill him, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's another human. Because I was like, it's not just like going crazy and like it's not eating them. And I'm like, okay. And then I thought I figured it out that it was somebody that we've seen before.
Yeah.
And then when she was like kind of like squared up like this, I was like, I remember seeing that. And I was like, I can't remember the character's name.
It's really
and so then
good.
when they flash back to Annie, I'm like, oh, okay, that's Annie.
Yeah. Dude, there are like Attack on Titan, I think, is genuinely the worst fucking show for the way that I watched it, which is fucking in 2013. And then in 2017, like I watched it kind of as it came out, but it is not a good show for that, because there is a lot going on, and they definitely give you lots of, like, you will get what you want. But like they tell it in very, weird timing ways with the episodes. Like, it's very much not a chronological kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, once I finish, I was honestly thinking of restarting it and just binging through. I was thinking about doing that in dub too, just because fuck it. I could get through it faster that way. Because there is a lot of shit that in season 3, like, ties back to season 1. Like, Attack on Titan is the one show that, like, I will have to see if this is sure, because the show hasn't ended yet, so I don't fully know. But if it ends the way that it has been going, it's just like the Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is why I like that show, in the fact that it was very clear that Attack on Titan, like, they had the writer of the manga, I guess, had a very clear vision, a very clear plan of not only the world, but, like, the story. Like, he had that, like, he had a story Bible kind of shit. Like, shit from season 1 comes back in season, like, the second half, or, like, I guess season 4, technically, like, the first half of the last season. Like, and I have to think back being like, wait, what the fuck? Like, there's so much foreshadowing and shit that I've watched YouTube videos where they point out, like, certain moments in the background of shit that's happening. Like, it's crazy. So I might go back and rewatch it before the final season this fall, because it is very good. Once you finish season 2, let me know, because there's one big moment that I really loved in season 2, and I really liked how they did it. Yeah, season 2 was shorter, for sure. There's one, like, fucking big ass moment that you will know, and I want to see your reactions.
Because my favorite episode was the one where they go outside the wall, because I was so sick of this stupid town. I'm sick of the city,
and it's like, cool,
I
because
hope that there's more episodes outside and that kind of stuff.
Attack on Titan is so good because season 1 is set up in a very, like, it's very weird and intriguing. Like, they tell you the world, but, like, slowly it's like, I don't think this is all. And then, like,
no, because, like, you're still in even though the city is, like, fairly big, it's like there's still the rest of the world outside of the walls.
Yeah.
And, like, I want to know what's outside of the walls.
Yeah, and they slowly start, like, unveiling certain shit that then make you question other stuff that you've been told throughout it, and you're like, huh, but that's not. But so, like, by the end of season 3, you think back to season 1, and you're like, oh, it's crazy.
I started the first episode of season 2 before we were recording, so I'm halfway through that.
Yeah.
And in the first episode of season 2, there's just, like, a Titan in one of the walls, and I'm like, what is this show?
Dude, it's. And then season 1 also ends, right? Like, hold on, let me make sure. Because
so
season.
Weird, and they're like, don't let him get in the sunlight, and I'm like, what are these new rules? He's like a what is it, gremlin?
Yes. Okay. I wanted to make sure because I didn't want to spoil anything. But according to Google, they show this at the end of season 1. The Titans are in the walls. You remember that? Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I remember watching the end of the season 1 and being like, wait, what?
How did they make them in the walls?
And they're alive. All you see is just, like, the face, and you're like,
yeah.
But what do you mean?
They just put a blanket over his face in season 2, and they're just like, okay, yeah, we're good. We're good.
There's so much shit happening, man. It's so extensive. It is. Attack on Titan is very good because it's very impressive. Like, what they do is impressive. So I do want to rewatch at some point. There are a couple really cool things. Let me know when you finish season 2, because there's one moment, and the music is really cool in that bit too.
Music's good. I'm not a fan of anime seasons changing the intro so much.
Yeah,
they'll do it twice
a
season. Yeah, and I'm like, no, but I was just getting used to that song. Dude, and then they changed it again.
The original is, like, fucking iconic.
So good. The original is so good. Then they change it. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not feeling this one. And then the season 2 one's a little bit better.
Yeah, the one for season 4. The first half of season 4 that I watched this year started off, and I was like, "This is weird as fuck." But now, it's a jam. Like, I love how anime openings do that. Yeah, it's so good. That's, like, such a uniquely anime thing. But the original Attack on Titan opening, Like, I watched a video that was like 50 anime openings. Can you identify them all? And it was like a 10-second thing where it would pop up the song and play it for like 10 seconds. And then it would show you what it was. And like, it would start from easiest to hardest. The first one was Attack on Titan opening. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, that is one that everyone hears and was like, oh, it's Attack on Titan. Like, it's wild. Good show.
Very good.
Excited to see what you, your reactions to future shit. But that's our episode. That's a long ass episode. We had a lot to talk about. And I just kept talking. I'm sorry.
That's what podcasts are for.
Liked it. It's true. It's true. I am gonna go make some dinner, and hang out for a bit with the. Oh, I'm gonna finish my uploads. If you want to check them out on YouTube.com/TaddyTenaris, you can do that. I'm gonna upload my reactions to the Ubisoft Forward if you want to see it in real time. The Devolver and also the Kana preview. I made a short little one for that too. That'll be up there. You can catch me streaming twitch.tv/TaddyTenaris. Every Sunday we're playing through RE7. I might beat it tomorrow this week. Don't know. I think I might have a little bit too much. I just finished the. I'm a little bit past. Oh no! I have the 2 key cards to get into where the brother has Zoe and Mia. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
I literally just went and got the key cards, and I went to the trailer.
Still got a little bit left.
So it'll probably be 2 weeks. That was my
big chunk. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, might finish that next week or 2 weeks from now. But I'm doing that every Sunday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., playing that for like 4 hours, and then uploading it to YouTube. I uploaded all 5 parts of last week this week, so, you'll catch it there if you missed it. And find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Send me TikToks of dogs, please. You could DM that to me anywhere on any platform. Tyson, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Tyson Pellegrini. Instagram Pellegrini_17 and twitch.tv/tpellegrini. I think my little schedule is coming into play. I usually stream like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I might switch Friday because Fridays are tough with work.
Yeah.
Then and then weekends are if I feel like it. So then it's like it might be a surprise stream. I'm gonna stream more tomorrow of the Yuffie DLC.
Woo.
You can also, I don't know if, I don't have like any YouTube, I don't have the YouTube URL, but I did upload a YouTube video this week. I uploaded my reaction to Alcohol Free, the new music video by Twice, which is fucking amazing.
The whole
album's amazing. Man, that album is so good. I got my physical album in the mail yesterday. So I have it's weird. So like K-pop albums are not just like a little CD that you get. It's this big box, it's like this big probably, and then you get a whole bunch of like collectible kind of stuff in the album, and then you get the CD.
That's cool.
They're like a big thing for K-pop albums. You get like one of like 9 cards, so I get like one of the 9 members. So I might open that on stream and like do a little box opening. That'll be cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
That's Twice.
I watched that video. I should check out the album. Is it called Taste of Love?
Taste of Love.
Oh, okay.
So
on Spotify, it's an EP. There are 6 songs on here. I liked the one that I liked the music video, but it's not exactly like the Twice like speed of their songs that I like. So I'll probably listen to the rest of these.
That's the thing. They're a little bit more. They're maturing their sound.
Interesting.
The sound is like this album. It's not as bubblegum pop anymore. It's very like even like Cry for Me, I Can't Stop Me are more like not adult, but just like kind of they're maturing their sound.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll probably listen to the rest.
Alcohol Free is like my song of the summer for sure.
Oh, really?
It's just like it's so good.
I liked it, but it was like,
oh man,
I don't know. K-pop weird. This is a weird way to phrase it, but like the reason why I like a lot of K-pop is it's very hype. Like it straight up is kind of hype. Like it's kind of like really high energy kind of thing. And that song was not exactly like, super high energy. It was still like hella catchy, and I liked it. But
it's very like old school K-pop is very like, even like when you go when you think of like Psy, what is it, Gangnam Style? It's very like, it's very cheesy hype though. It's like, it's just like they kind of throw a bunch of synths at you, and then you're just like, and a lot of Twice songs are like that. Like it's very very bubblegum, very happy, very just bright. But yeah, this one is a little bit, it's a lot slower than their other ones. And the album's kind of the same. It's very, there are some like really good, like, I don't know, I really like the songs, but it's definitely different than their other stuff.
Okay, I'll check it out though.
I'm just a Twice
I was
fanboy,
also
so.
gonna mention, I forgot to mention, I stream Sundays, but every other night I'm streaming as well, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central. And probably playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the next little bit, hopefully, and doing Destiny raids on Wednesday. And that's about it. Also, I sell these t-shirts that I'm wearing right now. If you want to check that out, you can find it in my pinned tweet. That's about it. I don't know. Have a good week. This is one thing that's just a side note. If anybody's curious, mainly for you, Tyson. I got kind of a promotion. It's not a pay raise, but I'll be put on a much better team at work recently, so that's exciting. I have one more week on regular fucking customer service calls where people are, can scream at me and be racist. It's great. I love it. One more week of that, and then after that, I'm put on an email team where I'm just writing emails. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much fucking better. Like, that's so much better. So yeah, I have one more week on phones, and then I'm on this new email team, which apparently there is only one email team in the company, and there's about like 40 or 50 people on it. And I was like, and there's literally like over 2,000 customer service agents. And I was like, oh, I feel pretty honored that they decided to put me on that. I'll take it. Nice. Maybe it was like, this guy sucks, get him off the phones. Maybe, you never know. But I'll take it because I would much prefer doing emails.
Did they offer you the promotion, or they just said you're giving the promotion?
They said, like, they sent out an email to me and about 12 others, I think, that were like, congratulations, you've been selected for this. They're like, if you want to opt out of it, you can. But, here's those.
You say, pay me more money.
That'd be nice. But literally just being off phones sounds so good. Like,
but you could be getting a couple extra bucks.
Maybe. No, probably the way this fucking big ass company works. If I said that, they'd just be like, "No, we're gonna offer your position to somebody else. So thanks, bye."
No, that's not how that works. That's literally not how it works at all in any business. You're allowed to
a number there,
negotiate for a raise, and they can say no. They're not gonna any company that's like, oh, I don't like this person because they want to make more money. It's like, no.
Well, it's not that they don't like. It's you're a number. You are very much a number there. So it's like legitimately,
yes, so
if you ask for that for that team,
ever.
What? No, probably
they're not going to fight for you.
It's not a good company.
No, so I'm saying that, like, even if you just say, hey, does this come with a pay raise or anything like that?
I did ask if it did come with a pay raise. And actually, wait, no, that was for a different thing. I haven't actually asked about this one.
Well, there you go.
Should ask. I should ask my team lead.
Like, I'm not saying be rude and be like, bitch, give me more money. I'm just saying, your worth. And if they're gonna be like, hey, you're selected for this, I was like, okay, well, obviously you think that my work is good enough for me to be selected, so therefore, can I have more money?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely ask if it is for sure, because I am just happy to not be on the phones though. Because what's weird though, I asked my manager about this because when we normally work emails, fun fact, if you email help@walmart.com, you're gonna get a basic ass standard email response. Literally, our database is like, if it's for this problem, you put in this, you click add to incident, and it adds it in, and then you send it. Like, even if it's not fully entirely relevant, you're not supposed to type. You're not supposed to add anything in there. You're supposed to just send them the thing for the policy or whatever. which is extremely easy. But the apparently this email team it's not doing that. It's actually writing the emails, which is much better because it's not just a robotic response, which probably doesn't even have all the answers in it. You know what I mean? You can actually customize it and tell them answers. But when I read that, I was like, oh, okay. And apparently they expect you to do like a minimum of 6 emails an hour. And I don't know if the emails are going to be like harder than the ones that they normally get, or if it's just going to be the regular emails. I don't know if maybe they flag like the more difficult ones or something like that, or if it's just the regular ass emails. If it's just the regular ass emails and it's a minimum of 6 per hour, and if I just type relatively the same as to what you would put in there normally, I haven't gone through the training of what they want me to type yet, but if it's relatively like the normal thing, I can do that so easily. I can knock out 6 emails in like 30 minutes and play 30 minutes of Destiny. Like
6 emails in 30 minutes, that's it?
What? Well, I could probably do it faster.
6 emails in like 6 minutes.
Well, the thing with that job too is like for phones, right? Like every phone call you take, you have to make a ticket, and I have a sticky note of a bunch of different common situations, like if somebody calls and wants to return a fucking item that's out of policy, right?
God, this sounds like a nightmare.
I'll copy that. It's not great. I'll copy that and put it in. So my tickets, it's a lot faster to make the tickets. And if emails are the same way, where you're getting the same types of emails and you're basically making the same types of responses, only with like slightly different variations, I'll have a whole sticky note for that. And it'll be hella fast. So like, that sounds, I don't know. I'm trying not to get too excited and get my hopes up, but no matter what, not this upcoming week, but next week, my work should be a lot less stressful. And I'm excited about that. Hell yeah. But yeah, we've been talking for like 2.5 hours. So we should get out of here. Bye, people. I love you.